One of my favorite things on the internet is to watch idiots get into internet slap fights. And there's nothing more fun than people in the comic book industry because those are usually socially awkward people who are ranting and raving like crazy folk. And Mark Waid just makes my day every time he does it. It's so much fun to watch. Thank you, Mark Waid, for your service. All right, we'll get into exactly what happened and how Liefeld just destroyed him in a couple of words in just a second. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. This is my comic book Overmind. If you don't like the woke crap that's coming out of Marvel and DC, this is the book for you. I've been making books since 2017. This is my 43rd comic book. I've got 17 novels to my name. I am a workhorse of a writer over here, just like people like Mark Waid used to be before they kind of went woke and, couldn't concentrate anymore. But we are delivering this very shortly. It's a science fiction graphic novel, Star Wars, Flash Gordon, all the classics really compiled into one in an epic universe where you're going to absolutely love it. So check it out. Support our book in the description below right now, and I appreciate the guys who have done so already. You've been awesome. All right, look at this awesome article from Bounding into Comics, and oh, cool! What a great article writer right there. John Delarose, he's a good guy. All right, Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld eviscerates Mark Waid over aging out of comics Facebook rant. Yeah, Mark Waid made this bizarre Facebook rant on Twitter, or on Facebook, obviously, and you can see here he goes. And I always tell people, I give life advice to people. And I say, you know what? If you're a man on the internet, even if you're a woman on the internet, don't make rambling multi-paragraph posts about like how angry you are. Never goes well. And this is just the beginning of it in this screenshot. If you actually scroll down a bit further, he actually continues over here. This is how long it is. Absolutely crazy. Now, basically, it's all about like aging out of the industry and aging gracefully. And Mark Waid's actually gotten more work than most as he's aged. So he, of course, has a hoity-toity like, I get the work, and here's why I get the work. It's because I evolve with the times. I'm better, and you're stuck in your old ways, the people who are trying to draw like the 90s. And he doesn't name people. And, of course, Rob Liefeld gets pissed about that because Rob Liefeld doesn't really get that kind of work from Marvel and DC, despite being a very popular creator. Every time he's on a book, does really well. But there's a lot of politics involved because Rob Liefeld speaks out against injustices against creators. And so, of course, he's pissed off those companies quite a bit. Mark Waid plays the game, toes the line, acts like a little corporate goon with all of this stuff. And, that's why he continues to get work to this day. So he goes further and he goes, those cannot seem to persevere in a changing industry, on the other hand, have one common trait, a debilitating lack of humility. Rather than be honest with themselves about what they could be doing better in order to keep up, they'll blame absolutely everything and anything else but themselves for their growing audience in the field. Editors today are idiots, they moan. Nobody knows what's good anymore. Do they know who I am? My comics outsold the crap they're publishing now, and boy, is it crap. Why, back in my day. Now, he's making fun of people who say this stuff, but it's true. In the 90s, Rob Liefeld would sell 200,000 to a million comics. Now, like, you're lucky if you sell 30,000 copies of a comic in a comic book store. And it's because it's content that people don't like. It's political. It's woke. It's not pretty art to look at. It's boring. A lot of it's just, like, mounds and mounds of dialogue of people talking and lazy drawings, lazy 3D renders that, like, don't really convey any action whatsoever. It's really the anti-Liefeld is what it comes down to. So, of course, he took it very personally with this stuff. But they go further, and where Mark Waid drew my attention on this, he goes, they no longer find the energy to meet the new challenges and stay hungry and competitive. It's easier to make excuses. One of the most common in recent years is, I'm blackballed for my politics. This is, not to put too fine a point on it, bullshit. I promise you, so long as you're not publicly racist or hateful or dishonest or a poster child for the Me Too movement, so long as you're not actively toxic or unprofessional regardless of your political affiliation, in other words, so long as you act like a normal human being, your personal life and how you conduct it rarely, if ever, has any bearing on your hireability. Now, this is all BS. Now, I did a nice article for the Federalist back in 2017 where I actually showed what was going on at Marvel Comics, and this is it right here. It's called Forcing Political Correctness on Employees and Characters Killing Marvel Comics. Yeah, I wrote it again. Imagine that. And what I did is I did research on Marvel Comics, and I found that every writer writing for Marvel Comics was rambling about Trump and how they hated Republicans. They were all left-wing extremists, every single one of them. There wasn't even one who was silent on Twitter. There wasn't one who just didn't talk about politics. They all went on the same party line. So Mark Waid is bullshitting here himself, and he knows it. He actually goes on his woke political rants and all that. Same with Mark Brooks and all that, because these guys are trying to keep their jobs through these. They are literally virtue signaling because they know if they don't do that, they're gonna. If you're apolitical, if you don't talk about it, they know that you're one of them. That's exactly what happens in the industry. And the industry is that sick. We've shown time and time again how examples of people who are just like, they come out as a Republican or a Trump supporter or a Christian, and they just get torched by these assholes, and they all pile on and they all blacklist them, and then they all tell each other not to hire that person. Happens over and over again. It's BS. Well, it really annoys me, obviously. Grinds my gears. It also grinds Rob Liefeld's gears in this, which is the funny part about this whole thing. So when Mark Waid did this, Liefeld replies very simply, just once, doesn't do it a bunch, just very simply, a couple of words, and he set Mark Waid off. It was great. And he goes, interesting, given the bitter source that wrote this, notorious whiner. I mean, seriously. And it's true. Mark Waid's known to whine about things. He's known to whine about politics. Back in 2017, again, your boy Zach, a YouTuber who makes comic book content, was making book reviews, and Mark Waid didn't like them. And Zach was going to a Comic-Con. Mark Waid wrote this scrawl just like this, saying, "Bring him to me at the Comic-Con. He shouldn't be allowed in here. Hateful." And did that over politics. It was actually done. And this looks like there's a little shade thrown at people like Liefeld also, by the way that it's written. Mark Waid can't handle any criticism whatsoever, of course, and you can see the multi-paragraph rant again.
Rob, you have something you want to say directly to me? Just call her right. You don't have to go behind my back and take cheap shots in public. To the best of my memory, I've never done you that disservice. As a rule, I find it pretty classless and embarrassing for anyone involved when creators attack one another over some personal matter in public.
Yeah, Mark Waid's done that multiple times to different creators, by the way. But they're all on the right wing, so it's okay when he does it.
If we have issues between us that I'm unaware of, let's deal with them privately.
Of course, Mark doesn't want to be called out for his nonsense. He doesn't want to be called out for the fact that he's just ranting and raving and acting like some sort of like lord of the comic book industry when he's doing this sort of thing. That's just offensive, and it's tactless at the end of the day. But that's what these SJWs do. They make their rants, they go off, they cry victim when somebody calls them out on it, and then they hope that they can get some victim points and victim bucks out of it along the way. Well, I don't think so, Mark. You're a white male, and we just don't need you in the industry anymore. It's really funny to watch this. I love how Rob Liefeld triggered him. Good work, Rob Liefeld. You're a fun guy, and that's it. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure to support the alternative to mainstream comics. I've been blacklisted before I even got into the industry, and it was completely over politics. So that's always fun. Check it out. That link's in the description below. Thanks.